Hello students, my name is Mustaiz Alam, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Nandlal Singh College, Daudpur. Today's topic is market failure. Market failure occurs when market forces fail to produce the products that consumers demand in the right quantities and at the lowest possible cost. In other words, market failure arises when markets are inefficient. There are a number of indicators of market failure, including shortage, supply surpluses, high prices, poor quality, and lack of innovation. If left to market forces, some products may be underproduced, some overproduced, and some may not be produced at all. Prices may be high due to lack of competitive pressure and difficulties in lowering the costs. A lack of investment and reduction in expenditure on research and development can also slow down the improvement in products. Failure to take into account all costs and benefits. The consumption and production of some products may affect people who are not involved in their consumption or production directly. Those indirectly affected are often referred to as third parties. In such cases, the total benefits and total costs to society, called social benefits and social costs, are greater than the benefits and costs to the consumers and producers, known as private benefits and private costs. For instance, the social cost of a firm producing chemicals will include costs not only to the firm but also to the people living nearby. Costs to third parties are called external costs. Among the private costs to the firm will be the cost of buying raw materials, fuel, and wages. The external costs imposed on those living nearby may include noise pollution, air pollution, and water pollution. If the decision to produce chemicals is based only on the private costs to the firm, there will be overproduction. Figure 1 shows that only the private costs to the firms are taken into account. Then the supply would be SS, whereas the full cost to the society is higher at SXSX. The difference between two is accounted for by the external costs. The allocatively efficient output is QX, but the market output is Q. Demand based just on the private benefits to those consuming the product will lead to underconsumption and hence underproduction if the total benefit to society is greater. For example, among the benefits students may receive by undertaking university degree courses are greater number of career choices, higher future earnings, lifelong interests, and lifelong friends. The social benefit include not only these private benefits but also the benefits to other people, external benefits, who will be able to enjoy a higher quantity and quality of output as graduates are usually highly productive workers. In figure 2, demand for degree courses based on private benefits is DD, whilst the total benefits to the economy is DX. The number of degree courses that would be undertaken if left to market forces is Q, whereas the number which would cause the maximum benefits to the society is QX. Whenever there is a gap between the total effects on society and the effects on those directly consuming and producing the products, market will fail to allocate resources efficiently. This problem is examined further in the next unit. Information failure. For consumers to buy the products that will give them the highest possible satisfaction at the lowest possible prices, they have to fully informed about the nature of the products on offer, the benefits they can receive from them, and their prices. Workers need to know what jobs are on offer, the location of the workplace, the qualification required, and the remuneration they would receive. They should also be aware about the nature of jobs for which their skills are best suited. Similarly, producers need to know what products are in demand, where good quality raw materials can be purchased at lowest possible prices, and what are the most cost effective methods of production. If they lack this information, they will make decisions that are not in their best interests. Besides consumers paying more than required and buying products of lower quality than available, workers may end up in the wrong jobs and producers' cost may be higher and revenues lower than possible due to information failure. Information failure can occur in number of ways. There may be a lack of information or inaccurate information. There may also be asymmetric information which occurs when consumers and suppliers do not have equal access to information. For instance, if a car mechanic tells a motorist that her or his car needs an expensive repair, the motorist may lack the technical knowledge to question the advice. Public goods. The degree of market failure is greater in the case of public goods than merit goods and demerit goods. Whilst too few merit goods and too many demerit goods will be produced if left to market forces, no public goods would be made. Private sector firms will not have any incentive to make products they cannot charge for. It is not possible to exclude non payers from enjoying the benefits of products such as defense. If these public goods are provided for some people, others can consume them without paying for them. Those who do take advantage in this way are called free riders. For instance, if a flood defense system is built to protect a coastal town, all homes in the area would be protected whether their owners are prepared to pay for it or not. Beside non-excludability, public goods have another characteristics. This is non-rivalry. This means that consumption of product by one more person does not reduce someone else's ability to consume it. For example, one more person walking down a lit street does not reduce the benefit that other people receive from the street lights. Most products, including merit and demerit goods, are private goods. These products are both rival and excludable. In these cases, it is possible to stop non-payers from enjoying the products, and if one person consumes a unit of the product, some else, someone else cannot. For example, I cannot take computer out of a shop without paying for it, and if I do buy it, no one else can have the particular computer. Even though primary and secondary education and healthcare are not directly charged for in some countries, they are nevertheless private goods. This is because they can be charged for, and also because they are rival goods in some cases. If one child is occupying a place in a class or one patient is occupying a hospital bed, no one else can occupy these places. Of course, education and healthcare are examples of a special type of private goods, that is merit goods. Market will supply private goods although not necessarily in the right quantities. They will not, however, supply public goods. This means that public goods have to be financed through taxation. The government can then produce them itself or pay a private sector to produce them. So that's all in this topic. Thank you.